I want to give you guys a little update of what I think about the trucking industry and this corona thing that's going around. So I wanted to do something simple, just a quick little video about my thoughts on this corona deal and how it's going to affect the trucking industry. I have no idea. This is just stuff I think as I'm driving along, but it gets me wondering with all these shutdowns, and I see like earlier today, a U.S. Foods truck passed me, and McLean's out here, and Cisco, and all these food carriers to the restaurants and stuff that have been shut down. And on Instagram and Facebook, you see a lot of memes about how everything else is shutting down, but the truckers will still be out here. And I can appreciate that because, as we know, trucks do move the world. But there comes a point where, even beyond the safety of it, if there's nothing for us to haul, that's going to come to a standstill too. So I think there's advantages and disadvantages of this. Right now, we're in a disadvantage, and for good reason. I mean, I didn't take this seriously, and I think a lot of us didn't. I think a lot of us still don't. As far as this industry goes, it hasn't affected it too much until now. I mean, typically we're alone in the truck anyway. But I think the big issue with the trucking industry from this is going to be the fact that there's not going to be any work with restaurants closing. And then I hear I guess Boston shut down all construction in the city. So now it doesn't only affect the food carriers, which in turn affects produce guys and the reefer guys and the van trailer stuff. But now this construction thing, and Boston isn't really going to affect us personally too bad, because we don't do a whole lot out that way. But it's affecting a lot of people, thousands of people, hundreds of companies. And if you think that's a joke, if it keeps going like this, I think in a couple weeks it's going to start affecting the Albany area. It's going to start affecting LA and Texas and Florida. I think it's really going to start affecting our industry too. So I don't think it's as much of a joke as everybody, including myself at one time, made it out to be. Whether it's just another flu or not, I don't know the details about the virus. What I do know is that a lot of people are going to be out of work in this industry. There's already a lot of people out of work in other industries, the food industry, bars and restaurants and so forth. And now they're talking any place, any business in this area anyway, any business with over 30 employees. And I don't know if this is true, so don't take this to the bank. This is just stuff I hear, so I don't know. I'm no professional at this. But I'm hearing any industry, any company with more than 30 employees is going to have to shut down. Don't know if it's true. I hope it's not, for their sake. But at the same time, I mean, there's a reality to it. And I kind of see what they're doing. As much as I don't want to be out of work, because I got bills to pay. The company has bills to pay. Your company has bills to pay. We all have bills to pay. But as much as I don't want it to happen, I can kind of understand what they're doing. I think they're trying to... Yeah, there hasn't been as many deaths with this as there has with the flu and other things, and the common cold even, I guess. But I think they're trying to cut it off now instead of letting it get to that stage. So on one hand, I understand it. On the other hand, I think it's a little bit hyped up and a little bit overboard. But one thing that I do know for certain is that the economy and the world around the trucking industry is slowing down and starting to fail, I think. So there's not too much, whether you believe the hype or not, there's not too much we're going to be doing in the near future, I think. And I think there's going to be layoffs, and I think some of the smaller companies that aren't prepared for something like this might not make it. I mean, they still got bills coming in, still got truck payments, still have some employees that they're going to have to pay, and they're not going to have anything coming in. So, I don't know, that's my thoughts on that for now. Now, with that said, I do think there's an advantage, and I use that word lightly because there's really not much advantage to a virus like this and closing the country down and the hardship that people are going to go through and the sickness. But I also think that even though there's going to be a downturn with businesses and a lot of people out of money and a lot of things economically going sour, my opinion, I think the aftermath could be a good thing for the industry. And again, I hate to say good thing because it's not, you don't want to see this happen anyway, but if everything is shut down for 2 or 3 weeks, including our industry to a point, there's going to be a huge demand for the stuff that we haul once it's over. In other words, people are going to be needing to catch up. The produce guys, there's going to be grocery stores that are still out of food. Those guys are going to have, as well as anything, I mean, anything that was affected by it, I feel like is going to, when it rebounds, it's going to come back strong, and there's going to be a lot of work for us guys. Well, and a lot of work for a lot of people, really. But this industry depends on moving product. So I think when it's all done and we get back together here with everything, there's going to be a huge boom in freight. I don't know this. I don't know much about that end. Freight lanes and prices of, per mile and all that, but I just can't, just common sense tells me that with a 3-week shutdown like this, when it's over, everybody is going to need everything stocked back up. So I feel like it's going to be a good forward push to get things back on track. Nobody's going to be, everybody's going to be out of everything at home, at the stores, and they're going to all need it right away to get going again. Even construction companies, like for instance the Boston thing. If they're on a standstill for 3 weeks, they're going to need to get going right away, so they're going to need stuff shipped in, including dirt, including stone, including metal, sheetrock, lumber, as well as the restaurants are going to need food, and like Walmart and Target, they're all going to need clothing and household goods that were used up during this. So I think there's a positive, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We just got to get there first. So with that said, I don't want to make a big, huge, detailed video, but I wanted to touch on what was going on here lately because it's an elephant in the room. Nobody wants to really say much about it, but it needs to be said because I think it's creeping its way into our industry. So that's my thoughts on it. Leave a comment, guys, if you disagree with me, or if you have any thoughts about what's going on or what's going to be in the future here or how things are going to go. Let me know in the comments, or get a hold of me on Instagram, message me on Instagram. I'd like to see everybody's thoughts on how they think things are going to go, or if they think I'm wrong. I could be. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. But for now, I'm not coughing yet. Still drinking some beers at night on the weekends. We're doing all right. We're not in lockdown yet. We're still working. Thank God for that, guys. Count your blessings. If you're still working, that's a good thing. Keep working. Do what you can until, hopefully it doesn't happen, but until things get shut down and there is no work for us. So appreciate what you have while you have it, and I hope everybody's doing good, and stick with it, guys. That's enough about that. Back to work. Back to work!